everyone! Welcome back to our show, Green Talks. I am your host again for today, JC. Now, have you ever thought about how your daily habits impact the planet? The truth is, every little action we make counts, and protecting the environment isn't just for scientists or activists. It's something we can all take part in. In today's episode, we're diving into eco-friendly living and why sustainability is something that everyone should care about. Plus, we have a very special guest who will share simple everyday changes that make a big difference. And of course, a fun challenge to put our eco-friendly knowledge to the test. So, are you ready to go green today? Let's get started.
Imagine a world where the air is clean, the oceans are clear, and the nature thrives without human interference. Unfortunately, our reality is far from this vision. The planet is facing an environmental crisis. Every year, over 8 million tons of plastic waste end up in the ocean. That's the equivalent of a truckload of plastic dumped into the sea every single minute. These plastics break down into microplastics, which are now found in marine life, drinking water, and even human blood. Scientists have discovered microplastics in fish, sea salt, and even inside our own organs. We are literally consuming the waste we produce. Meanwhile, air pollution is taking millions of lives every year. Fine particulate matter, toxic emissions from factories, and vehicle exhaust fumes have made clean air a luxury in many cities. In some areas, people wake up every day to smoke-filled skies, suffering from respiratory illnesses, asthma, and other health complications caused by prolonged exposure to polluted air. This problem isn't just happening in faraway places. It affects all of us. The excessive use of plastics, wasteful and industrial pollution are damaging the very environment we depend on for survival. But the good news is that solutions exist. By reducing single-use plastics, choosing sustainable products, recycling properly, and being mindful of our consumption, we can reverse some of the damage. Governments and corporations play a role, but individual choices matters too. If millions of people commit to small changes, the impact will be enormous. We are at a turning point. The choices we make today will determine the future of our planet. Do we continue down a path of destruction, or do we act now to protect our home? The decision is in our hand.
Alright, now back in the studio, it's me again, JC. We're here with our special guest. Special guest, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Tiong Chung Yu. So now currently I'm a primary school teacher. So I teach.
In primary school?
Yeah.
Alright, so we can call you Mr. Tiong.
Yes, you may call me Mr. Tiong.
Okay, nice. Alright, Mr. Tiong. So for our first question today, we're going to be talking about recycling, and it is to my knowledge that your school also implements some sort of recycling to be involved with the students, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have a recycling club. So all the students, they may partake of these recycle activities. The teacher will encourage the student to bring the old newspaper, magazine, plastic bottles and cans from the house, and then they will bring to school.
Right.
And then after that, the student in the recycling club,
the committee lah.
yes, they will in charge to split this item into paper, plastic, and then the metal.
They sort it out themselves. The committee is the one that sorts it.
The student in the club, the committee, they will sort it out. And then after that, the teacher in charge will take the items to the recycle center.
So that helps us to make sure that students are actively participating in recycling.
Yeah, so every class teacher has a responsible to educate their students what the item that can be recycled And then what item cannot recycle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you implement recycling in the school. Now, I want to know more about how you implement like eco-friendly lifestyles in your everyday life. When you live your everyday life, what inspired you to start living an eco-friendly lifestyle?
Okay, what inspired me when I starting teach a subject,
Yes.
RBT.
RBT, yes.
Yes. In this subject, we have talked about the renewable energy. So when I teach students, I also need to go through the items. So I realized that our Tenaga National Berhad,
Right.
how they generate their power. And then mostly they are using the coal
Right.
and the natural gas. So this is a non-renewable energy.
Right.
So when I realized this, I suddenly realized that, oh, we are not so eco-friendly.
We are not so eco-friendly.
Yeah, and then this kind of energy may one day
run out.
they'll run out. So in the class, we need to teach the students to use alternative energy. There is a solar energy. That can be renewable.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you got inspired from your RBT class. What was it about the RBT class that learned about this, especially for those of our watchers who don't know what RBT is?
RBT stands for Reka Bentuk and Technology.
Ah.
So this subject, before in our generation, is a kemahiran hidup.
Home
So
economics.
it is basically the skill they need to learn in the daily life. So before this, we only learn like make our own pencil case.
Yeah, the woodwork.
The woodwork.
Electrical socket. Which wire is what color?
Yeah, but nowadays, I think the Kementerian Pendidikan,
Right.
they have realized that they cannot cope what our generation.
Yeah.
So they changed the subject into RBT.
Good job, Education Ministry.
Yeah, they cope out what the new generation need.
I see. So when you are talking about learning these everyday skills, it taught you about how we consume energy in everyday life.
Yeah, how we consume energy, and then how we use the plastic. Yes. Because actually the plastic is a very good creation of the humans.
Right, true.
It's very cheap, very light, and then easy to get. But sometimes we just take it for granted.
Right.
So since it's very easy to convenience, and then we just use it for granted.
Right.
We did not realize that we didn't educate about what plastic bag can cost
On the environment.
on the environment and on the planet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
How would you say, like, because you mentioned that the teachers have to teach the students about what renewable energy is, what can be recycled, what cannot be recycled. How would you say the children these days have, in terms of their knowledge? Are they knowledgeable? Are they high in knowledge in what can be recycled, what cannot be recycled?
Yeah, I think the student maybe have the basic, but we as a teacher, we need to not only teach them the knowledge, we also encourage them to
Apply.
practice in the daily life. So in that case, our school, we have the recycling club.
I see. Recycling club. So that's would you say the recycling club is active in your school?
Yeah, so far it's very active. The class teacher also very supporting. We have 45 class, and then each class teacher has encouraged every student to take the old newspaper or that things that can be recycled and then come to school. Even there, school have also invited the company like Energizer. They will come to our school, and then we will ask the student to bring the old battery that have been used, and then they can take the old battery to school, and then we can give to the Energizer company, and then they will replace it with a new battery.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so eco-friendly and very cost efficient as well.
Yeah.
For us. Alright, speaking of more things that we're going to learn from our special guest here, let us take a 15-second break and have a breather before we come back to our interview. We'll be right with you. Welcome back back to us for Green Talks. I'm your host, JC, and this is our guest again, Mr. Tiong. So, we're gonna ask today, what are some of the easiest changes that people can make to be more eco-friendly in their lives?
I think first of all, I think the plastic bag. Okay, so we may reduce
Right.
or reuse the plastic bag.
Right, I see as well sometimes when my mother come back from the Pasar Malam all that, they take it all and then use it for food waste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for food waste. And then in the science class, I also taught the student to bring the plastic bag come.
Right.
And then we can use it for make some items like the parachute. And then we will do the experiment.
Oh, is it like a falling egg one? or-
Yeah,
Oh.
they need to make the parachute out of
Yes.
the plastic bag. So the slower the parachute landed, the student will be winner.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
encourages them to do some DIY. That
Yes.
also helps them to learn as well, I find, about how you can like reuse old items and
Yeah.
transform them into something useful.
Yeah, in art class, our art teacher also teach them how to use plastic, the old newspaper, and transform it into arts. So it's just like to give these recycled items a second life.
That's very good, very insightful. It's also a callback to our earlier episodes if you've watched that. Now, speaking of callbacks, let me call you back to our next question, which would be, some people think that living sustainably is expensive or inconvenient. What do you say to that?
I think at the initial stage,
Right.
yeah, we need to maybe high cost because we
Yeah.
need to buy the recycle bag,
Yes.
which is I think more expensive than the plastic bag.
Yes.
But eventually the recycle bag it will be last longer. And I think in the long terms, I think it's more beneficial than the plastic bag.
Because we hear all this talk about how plastic bag cannot be so biodegradable very easily, but then like, it wears and tears lah.
Yes.
Right. Then there's holes there, and then you cannot use it, but then it's not disintegrating. Alright, so that's for like everyday consumers. Are there any more tips for, let's say, what are some tips you give your students on how to be more eco-friendly?
Okay. We also teach them like how to be carpool is possible,
Yeah, yeah.
and then use the public transport.
Especially when like, cause if you imagine it, one parent, one child, right, and then they
Yeah.
all take to school, like, two people in one car, the carbon footprint gets very heavy in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, so carpool with your friends, guys. You sit in the car with your friends.
Yeah, you can be friends with more person.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you learn to, you know, hang out with your friends, make friends on the way to school, encourage each other to go to school.
Yes.
Are there any of these tips that you utilize in your own life?
Yeah, I often use the public transport, and then we may also grow our own plants at homes. I also teach the students can use the egg tray. They can use it for plant the onion in the class.
Onions.
Yes, because onion more easy to grow and they only need 1 week to harvest.
Ooh, that's nice. I can do that. My plants always die. We'll find out next time if my plants will survive this time.
Yeah, because onion only need some water and then plant it on the egg tray. Yeah.
Do you keep this? Do you keep this inside the house, by the window, or like does it need direct sunlight outside?
I think we need to avoid direct sunlight. You can have sunlight but shady a bit.
Make sure, because it's not like a tree, like you don't need it to be
Yeah.
really bright outside. Yeah. So it's usually keep in the kitchen.
Yeah, can keep in the kitchen. Beside of the onion, we can also grow the ginger.
So many things you can grow at home, save costs.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you grow any of these at home with yourself, or do you have experience growing them?
We have grown some onions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You use this in your own home cooking as well?
Yeah, home cooking as well. Because sometimes we buy the onion and then we only use a part of it,
Right.
and then the other part we just
True.
throw away.
Right.
So this is also a waste
Like the food waste also contributes to the carbon emissions as well, with the transport of the food waste, with the whole like disintegration of food waste and the space that the food waste takes in the landfill.
Yes.
What are some of the ways that we can make sure our plants don't die at home? So this is a personal question for me.
Yeah, I think for the plant in the home, we no need to water them that much. You only need to soak the egg tray in the water, and then I think it will be good for 3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days, but
Yeah,
it's
every time you water the onion, you just make sure that the egg tray is soaked wet. Then it is enough.
oh, so then that helps you to measure as well.
Yeah.
The water content, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So next time I'll make sure I don't overwater my plants because my plants have suffered enough. Alright, for our next segment, we are going to play a little game that's going to involve some sorting and some materials, and we're going to find out if our special guest really is that knowledgeable about recycling materials as he claims. Stick with us, we'll be right with you in the studio. We'll be right back. Welcome back with us in the studio. My name is JC, and here with me is our special guest, Mr. Tiong. So, for this segment, I have a few cards with me, Mr. Tiong, and these are your categories. Your challenge today is to, according to these cards, figure out which recycling basket, which types of waste they belong in based on what you see on the cards. So here are your cards. I'll grab your tape for you. Okay, can you tell me what you see there, the first picture?
Okay, the battery.
Battery. Yes, you mentioned that you had your kids to bring the used battery. This is a paper container.
Paper container.
It's supposed to be paper container, I know it looks like polystyrene, but...
So this one is a bottle.
Yes, plastic bottles.
And then...
Fruit skin.
Fruit skin. And then these are glasses.
Yes, okay. I have your first tape over here. Which one do you want to answer first? We can go one by one.
I think for the battery first.
Okay, battery first. So for battery, where would you put them? We have hazardous waste, recyclables, organic waste, and general waste.
So for the battery, I think the battery you cannot simply just throw into the dustbin.
Right.
Because it cannot be recyclable. So it is hazardous waste.
I see often that, like, you know, the battery on the side there, they always have the icon that, oh, you cannot throw.
Throw in the dustbin.
Yeah, so I think that's an indication that it's hazardous, cannot mix simply.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is correct, I can tell you that, because I know the answers beforehand. Okay, for your next one, which one would you like to do?
I think I will go for the organic waste.
So this one is the fruit skin.
Fruit skin.
Okay, organic waste would be fruit skin.
Because it can be
Decomposed, right?
Yes.
Okay, so food waste, organic waste, kitchen waste, food waste that you find in your kitchen. Do you think eggshells count as organic waste?
Yes, eggshell is a part of
organic
organic
food.
waste.
Okay, I see. Yep, that is correct as well. Fruit skin do belong in organic waste. The key word here is organic. Your next one will be?
Next one will be the
plastic bottle. Alright, and where does it go?
I think the plastic bottle will go to the recyclable.
Recyclables. Alright, why do you say that?
Because plastic bottle can be recycled.
Yes, that is correct. So you remember in our plastic bottles, we have plastic. So in our recycling bins, we have plastic, we have paper, we have metal, and sometimes glass. Plastic is recyclable. Nice. Okay, next one.
Next will be the glass.
Glass. So you're moving through this really fast. Okay, glass will be in
recyclable.
Yes, because there is a glass category in our recyclables as well. Correct. All right, our last one. You're breezing through this so fast.
Last one will be polystyrene.
Polystyrene. Yes. This is food containers, and it goes in general waste. Now, I want to ask a very interesting question because I see this in campus a lot. When we buy food there, when we do all sorts of like food shopping outside, like for example, waffle paper bags that hold our food, we sometimes throw the paper bags for food into recyclables when it's supposed to be in general waste. Why is that?
Because the general waste is
Contaminated, or is it because there's
contaminated.
oil?
All of them need to go to the general waste.
Then if
For the recyclable, you
yes.
need to keep the item clean, so that it can be recyclable.
Mm.
So sometimes we mix
this together, because then we need to separate if it's clean or if it's still dirty lah.
Yes.
What about the milk cartons at home?
Yes. Milk carton, I think if you clean it and then it can be recyclable.
Oh, then it can be put in recyclables.
Yeah.
Even the tin for the condensed milk.
Yes. In our school,
yes.
the Milo company, they have their own recycle
Station.
station.
Oh.
So when the student drink the Milo, the bottle.
Yes, the tin can, is it?
The tin and then the paper one.
Yeah, the carton.
The carton they can put in the.
They can straight put. They don't need to wash.
Yeah.
Oh, the Milo company went out on their way to put this there.
Yeah, they have one dustbin there.
Very good ESG. Alright, so now today we learned a couple of things here about our recyclables. Is there any of these that you think people would not normally know of? I know plastic bottles, a lot of people know about it, but is there anything here that you think?
I think for the battery.
Battery?
Yeah, I think our daily life,
right,
after we use the battery, we seldom just throw into the dustbin.
Right, yeah, because we don't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Right, it's like, it says I cannot throw in the dustbin, so I don't throw. It rots in my home. Yeah, but then it's hazardous waste. Is there any way we can get rid of hazardous waste? I know that your school has encouraging kids to bring the battery lah.
Yes.
But if it's in our daily lives for any other given citizen, do you know where we can handle hazardous waste? Or we visit recycling stations or?
I think you can visit the recycling station. And I think they have a special session for this one.
Oh, so they'll teach us how to handle these things.
Yeah, I think this one you can give to the recycling center.
Alright, so remember to recycle, guys. And remember to stick with us, because shortly after this, we're going to engage in a little science experiment that you don't want to miss in our live crossover section. So stay tuned, stay prepared, and after that, we'll be right back with Mr. Tiong with more questions. So stay with us, we'll be right with you.
Hello everyone, welcome to our Green Talk DIY today. So have you ever thought that your daily habits like washing dishes, shopping or throwing out trashes could impact the earth for 100 years? So today, we will show you the true significance of being eco-friendly through two experiments. So these experiments are super easy and can be done at home. Let's see if you are using the right eco-friendly methods. So we will dive into two fascinating experiments to compare everyday products with their eco-friendly alternatives. First, we will test the cleaning powder of regular dish soap versus a natural cleaner made from baking soda and lemon juice. This is to highlight the benefits of going natural. Then we will explore the difference between plastic bags and biodegradable paper product by observing how they break down in water, showing why reducing plastic use is so crucial. Let's get started to see how these small changes can make a big difference. So now I will pass it to our guest of the day, Shen.
Alright, so have you ever thought about how the dish salt we usually daily make polluting the environment? When dish salt contain phosphate and chemical activities that enter our water system, causing pollution and leading to algal blooms, which harm aquatic life. So there's a more eco-friendly way to clean greasy dishes. Let's find out with a simple experiment. So these are the material needed. So to try, I will use an empty bottle. This demonstration. Also, and also regular dish salt, this one, and also baking soda and lemon juice. For stirring, Okay, so that's all of our material needed for experiment 1. So first, step 1, we need to pour some cooking oil into both glasses. First, inside, and then this represents the grease after a meal. So did you think plain water can remove this oil? Alright, so make sure fully cover the water inside. So next, I will try the first method, adding regular distillate into 1 quarter. So this cup here. So distillate contains surfactants which break down grease by surrounding oil particles, allowing them to fix with water. However, distillate contains phosphate. When they enter and lax, they stimulate algal overgrowth, which stimulate oxygen in the water and harm fish and other aquatic life. Alright, let's see how is it. You can use the stimulate it. Alright, you can see the grease dissolved, but the water looks cloudy. This is the effect of chemical cleaners. Okay, so for next, for this one, for another bottle, I will try a more natural approach, pour baking soda and lemon juice into the second class. Okay, so this is the baking soda I use. I will put it inside. Right. And also lemon here. Alright, you see it? Okay, so let's stir it up. Alright, you can low degree is breaking down too. It's because it contains citric acid with dissolved grease, but and also baking soda has natural cleaning properties without harming the environment. So let's compare these two bottles. So the dissolved greases, but the water turns cloudy, meaning chemical residue remains. The natural cleaner also grease, but the water remains clearer, showing fewer chemical effect. In some countries, to promote switching to natural. This shows that waste need can as well. Today experience proves that natural ingredients can clean waste effectively. If we all reduce the use of chemical dissolve and switch to a and life. Next time, when you watch this, our first project is over. Let's hear what JC has to say.
Yep. Alright, now we've seen the experiments that we have on our live crossover.
Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back. Now I will start our experiment 2. Have you ever wondered how long a simple plastic bag, stay on Earth? We use plastic bag every day, but most of us don't realize that they can take hundreds of years to decompose. So are there better alternatives? Let's start with a simple experiment. Okay, so first, 2 transparent glasses. Okay, small piece of plastic bag. You can have from fruit packaging or shopping bags. And also tissue paper or biodegradable paper napkin. Warm water. Yeah, so warm water. Spoon or chocolate also for stirring. So for the first step, let's take a small piece of a plastic bag. Okay, I will cut it from here. Okay, just so small piece, and then I will put it into the first glass. Put it inside here, and now I will add some warm water to stir it a little. Some more water. Hurry up. First, you can see here, as you see, nothing is happening. The plastic does not dissolve, break down, or plastic bag can take 400 to 1000 years to fully decompose. Even then, they don't completely disappear. They just break into tiny microplastics. This out in our control center. It might be easy to plastic without even rubber material. And glass, add some more water. Inside water. Alright. As you can see, it's a ring breakdown, and in just few seconds, that's because tissue paper is biodegradable, meaning composed naturally within a few days or weeks. Unlike plastic, biodegradable materials return to nature without leaving harmful waste behind. Alright? So now let's compare our two glasses. For plastic bag, still like normal. For tissue paper, breaking down into small pieces. This simple test shows us the huge differences between plastic and biodegradable materials. Plastic stay in the environment for centuries, while biodegradable materials disappear naturally, causing no harm. So every time we choose biodegradable or reusable material over plastic, we are helping reduce plastic waste and protect our planet. Imagine if everyone stopped using plastic bags. How much cleaner would our ocean and lands be? So next time, bring your own reusable bags and biodegradable products, and be mindful of the material you use. Small action can make a big.
Alright, switch.
Thank you for our guest today, and I hope today shows us that even small daily lasting impact on every decision we make, from the product we use to the habits we adopt, contributes to the health of our planet. By reducing the use of detergents, using avoiding, we can take meaningful steps towards a more sustainable. These changes may seem small, but when multiplied by they can create a be eco-friendly even so to take you a clear.
Alright, welcome back to us in the studio. My name is JC and you're watching Green Talks. Just now, we just explored some of the interesting ways that we learned about how materials dissolve in water, plastic versus tissue, and the harmful chemicals that we might find in our dishwashing detergents, and some alternatives that we can explore in everyday life to achieve the results that we actually want. Now, back with me in the studio is our guest, Mr. Tiong. Mr. Tiong, can you introduce yourself for us again?
Hi, I'm Mr. Tiong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a primary school teacher.
Mm-hmm. And you teach mathematics.
Yeah, I teach mathematics.
Alright, now I understand that in your school you're very knowledgeable about the recycling club that's there, integrating eco-friendly lifestyles in your own life and also in the life of your students. So on that topic, I have some questions for you. So, our next question for you is, what do you usually do to teach your students to learn environmental spirit, the spirit of being environmentally friendly? And are there any related courses or activities at school, especially the recycling club that you mentioned?
Usually we need to add in the recycle teams in our approach. When we teach students, we have add on this one recycling element in in our class.
Do you have an example of it? Like, let's say, like you're teaching science. You mentioned like RBT has these themes as well. Yeah. How do you implement the theme?
In school, we have STEM. STEM stand for science, and then
Technology,
technology,
engineering,
and
mathematics.
then mathematics. So in this course, we have many subjects will cooperate together to make a product. So previously, how we implement the element of the recycling.
Yes.
So we implement it through the project-based learning. So like just now, we need to teach the children what is actually happening around us.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, actually the energy of use
It's not renewable.
not renewable,
Yeah,
not
not
eco-friendly.
renewable.
So this is the first one. And then second one, we need to show that, oh, what if we did not live a eco-friendly life? What will happen to us in the future?
Oh yeah, the consequences.
The consequences. So previously, my students, I will separate them in the 4 groups. So I need them to go home
Yes.
and then search for 4 scenarios.
Oh.
Like the first one, what will happen to the forest? And then what will happen to the ocean? And then what will happen to our living space? And then last one, how it will impact the globally.
Oh yes.
So the first one, the student, they will go home and search what will happen to the sea.
Right.
So they say if we use the plastic for granted, eventually the sea will be full with plastic.
Right, that's true.
And then it also happening, the bird and the turtle, they accidentally eat the plastic items.
Oh yeah.
Like the spoon, fork, and then plastic bag. This animal is accidentally taking plastic as their food. So eventually they die
Right.
with rubbish
Inside of their system.
inside their stomach. And the shampoo we use have the like tiny particles, plastic particles.
Oh, the microplastics.
The microplastic. They say eventually eat by the fish,
Yeah.
and then eventually will come back to us
To
again.
us, yeah. So we also become polluted because the materials that we use
Yeah.
are so contaminated with plastics as well.
Yes.
So
And
you teach the students to learn about this.
yeah, I will guide them throughout the project. They will search and find out, wow, this will what will be happen eventually. So after that, I ask them to build a model. Why do want to build a model? We want to show to other people too, and educate and
Yes.
show them and make them realize, oh, what are the consequences eventually, and then what is a way to solve this. So the students have to make a model, and then they need to present to the other classes too.
So it's a very direct approach of like learning about the practical problems that we face in terms of eco-friendliness, in terms of pollution and climate change, and how we affect our planet, and also what we can do about these consequences that we're going to face in the future.
Yes.
So it helps them to learn about the world they're living in.
So I think we need the education.
Yeah, education is very important because
Yeah.
I find that if you aren't educated about this, you also get very complacent. You feel very ignorant lah about our issues. Then you don't make the changes in your everyday life.
Because last time I tell the story about what actually happening to the animal,
Right.
like the turtles and the birds. The student eventually thinks that I'm just talking about stories.
Oh.
But eventually I search on the YouTube and then they see, wow, they're not doing something in the future. They eventually doing the something that are happening. Like I want them to evaporate more in the living space.
Right.
In the future, if we don't recycling the rubbish.
Yep.
You see in Manila and India are some of the places that eventually
Yeah.
already live together with the rubbish.
Yeah, that is true. So it helps to learn about our situation. It helps to become educated about situation. And we encourage our audiences at home who are watching this as well to become more educated around recycling, around climate change, and how the waste in our everyday life gets produced. But before you leave us from this broadcast, stay with us for a while because we'll be right back with you once we have our 15-second break and come back to our interview. Stay tuned. back with us. I'm JC, and we're here with our guest, Mr. Tiong. So, Mr. Tiong, I have my next question for you about recycling. What is one simple change that students can make to be more environmentally friendly in their lives?
Okay.
I think like students here can be any student, like our uni students lah, or like the primary students that you mentioned that you teach. So what's something they can do?
I think for the first step we can do is the reducing our food waste by planning our meal. Because in the primary school we see the student
Right.
when they don't like to eat, they just
Yeah.
throw it away.
Yeah.
So we need to educate them about if you cannot finish, you may give it to other students, or you may be
Reducing your portion.
reducing your portion by talking to the
the
canteen
seller, the vendor,
tauke,
yeah.
the seller. Yeah. And then the second step, I think, about the using the paper. So we encourage students to use both side of the paper before you throw it away. And then when we do exercise, we will do exercise, but don't tear it down for making paper plan or just simply drawing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the next will be reducing and reuse the plastic. Yeah. So like we talked just now, we have used the plastic in our arts, or
Using them again when you go out.
using again when you go out. Yeah, like the plastic bottle. Yeah, we have fill the plastic bottle
Yes.
with water, and then use it at the door. To put it at the door to
Oh,
prevent
for the weight on the door.
for the weight on the door.
Yeah. So it's like it helps you to hold your door. You don't need to
Yeah.
buy anything extra also.
Yeah.
I see. So that's like very very nice ways. Like it's like finding creative ways where we can reinvent, like you said, to give a new life to the waste that we have in our life. Not only to reduce the waste, but also to use it more efficiently.
Yeah. I think we use it for the second, third, and fifth time. Yeah,
It
these
can
are
be
our
very
purpose.
valuable. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, on to our next question. Some people feel that a individual's effort won't make a big difference. What do you think?
I think a small action will give a big impact. If like our students in
Yes.
our school, we have like almost 15 to 2,000. 15 to 2,000 like that students. So if we educate every one of them to implement the recycle in their daily life, they will, after this generation, the new generation come, there will
Yes.
be a 2,000 young men.
Right.
They are implement the eco-friendly life. So
it
like
keeps
this,
increasing.
yeah, it will continue to increasing. So I think if we continue to implement, continue to educate them, I think in the coming generation they will be more alert to the nature, and then eventually the generation after generation, it will be more eco-friendly.
Right. I see, because then I also remember you talked about the students doing their own research on the impact about the environment lah. Have you ever encountered that a student, maybe they see the impact and it feels like the problem is too big for them to solve? Have you ever encountered that?
Yeah. Yes. So we encourage them. We can save the planet by start taking the small step on our own. Maybe we cannot do the big things, but we together, every one of us do the small things. Then I think eventually the outcome will be very successful.
That is very important to keep up the morale, encourage them so that they feel motivated
Yes.
to solve the problem as well. Because when a problem is too big for them to solve, you become very like, what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So in your school, when you do this recycling clubs and all that, do you guys ever like showcase the progress that you've done to your students?
Showcase.
Like tell them, oh, this month we recycle
Yeah.
how many?
Yes. I think the teacher in the recycling club, they have been always doing this part. Yeah, they show the outcomes and then maybe taking photos and then show it on the notice board. Yeah.
That's good, like a progress report to help them understand that they are actually making progress and impact on the world. So that's very nice. When it comes to this topic about recycling, I have another question to ask you here. So, do you have any tips or initiatives related to sustainability that you'd like to share?
Okay, first of all, I don't have any my own social media or YouTube, but eventually I get the eco-friendly ideas from the YouTubes. So before the is like the channel Epic Gardening or Simply, they have this channel promote home gardening
Yes.
and then recycle all of this. So when I want to get the idea how to maybe making some activities in my class, I always get the information from this YouTube channel. I will search and then find something fun and learn in the activities while they do in the group. Yeah.
It helps to build up that sense of community with your students, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, oh, we are all doing our part to save the planet together.
Yes.
I see. All right. Now, I have one final thing to ask. Is there anything you would like to tell our audience to motivate them to start their eco-friendly lifestyle journey?
I think everyone of us should be bear a responsibility as we are part of this planet. We only have one planet. Why we want to go to Mars when our Earth is so beautiful already?
Yes, it is.
We just need to be educated, and then we need to, I think, how to say like that?
Take care of what we have.
Take care of what we have, instead of always want to find something new to replace it.
To
Yeah,
appreciate.
I know that Elon Musk say we
Yeah.
we can go to Mars.
Yeah, true, yeah.
But why we need to spend so much money
to
to
go to
build
Mars.
to build a new ones? Instead, we have a existing one.
Yes, exactly, that is correct. So thank you for the inspirational words. So let's take our 15-second break with us and then stay tuned as we approach the end of our episode. Stay with us. Alright, now I want to ask you more about community and motivation when it comes to making these changes. Also, you can also talk to me about the ways that the recycling community or like the topics of recycling has changed in your life as you grow up till now. Because I remember at least in my generation, when I was in primary school, there's also the topic of recycling or learn which color bin is for what material. How do you think the changes have happened when it comes to education on recycling?
Okay, the changes I think is, before our education is more based on academic.
Yeah.
So
I learned to get score for my moral exam.
we only teach how to get score.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think nowadays the education has changed. We try to build, and if we do, there is more balance. Not only stress on knowledge, but also stress on the practical,
Yes.
like how they implement the recycling in their daily life. So in the school,
Yes.
actually they encourage us to do more activities to actually
Implement.
and then bring them together to work on something together, to do the recycling together.
Yeah, to make sure it's connected and that everyone keeps in mind about the topic all the time lah.
Yeah, so to encourage them, eventually the school also have the merit system. Like, oh, today you have done
Oh.
recycling,
Give them
okay, you
motivation lah.
you can have a stickers, and then you
so
can
nice.
after you get enough of stickers, then you can get a present.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we eventually, and by this we encourage them to
Have the habit.
have the habit. everything is. I think the habit building
Yeah.
is out of the encouragement.
I see.
So when we want to the student have a habit for long terms,
Yes.
we would need to encourage them.
Mm-hmm.
Like why you want to get the first place.
Yeah.
So you need to continue work hard for it.
Yeah, true.
So it's the same for the when it comes to the habit building. You need to be continue encourage them. Yeah.
I see. So it's very important to give them a start, because once
Yeah.
you start, then it's easier to continue to
Yeah.
maintain the habit.
Yeah. So maybe one day they will feel that it's so weird
Right.
when I not practicing this.
Yeah, right. They're so used to being eco-friendly
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Yeah.
They will say,
Alright.
they will thought like, why you not eco-friendly?
Right. Then it becomes weird to not be eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that we're trying to like make it a normal thing to be eco-friendly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very important to have the idea of being eco-friendly and for it to not be considered like an extra step lah, or something extra to do, an extra burden to have
Yes.
in our daily life.
Yes, because in Japan actually there have many successful the case already. If you live in Japan,
Yes.
you need to sort your rubbish
Mm.
and then tag it properly.
Oh yeah.
If not, the rubbish they will not take away the rubbish.
Oh.
The rubbish will remain
Oh.
until you sort out everything, tag properly,
Oh.
and then only that you can throw.
Oh.
Uh,
Very strict,
Yeah, they not like the rubbish you just take out and then throw outside. Not like that. They need to, the car comes, they need to take the rubbish go. And then
Then they'll examine it.
they will examine, this one is qualified
Oh.
to be thrown
Wow.
away or not. If not, then you need to take it home.
A very structured system.
Yeah. And then if maybe you stay out late,
Uh-huh.
and then the time pass,
Uh-huh.
you need to wait for
The next
another
time.
week.
Aiyo.
So if you rubbish is all the organic waste,
Oh, it's gonna smell.
it will be smelling for 1 week, so then
Uh,
the next week you need to throw it away.
yeah, there's the whole like consequences and everything lah. Like if you're not very careful, or you're not very like
Yeah.
you don't maintain it well, then you have the consequences that your house is gonna smell for 1 week.
So Japan is a
Japan has it lah.
it's
has
a
it.
very clean country because like that.
That is very good. I hope that I don't know about the strict part, because Malaysians are very forgetful and very late oftentimes. But it is I feel like a nice thing to incorporate, like the whole it's normal for you to be structured and have the habit of being eco-friendly in your life.
Yes.
Yeah, does the school have the habit of implementing like SDGs or like ESG programs, or does it have any habit of implementing those themes throughout all the programs, or is it just in specific subjects?
I think not every subject you can
But
implement.
I don't imagine math can lah.
Not every subject can implement this element, but actually we have every year we have the just now I said the STEM competition.
Oh really?
This competition usually one year. So it will gather many subjects together, and then usually will implement the recycling terms.
So in the competition, what happens during the competition? Is it like, who can recycle the most, or is it like who can build something innovative, or
Okay.
what kind of competition are we talking about?
Okay, it requires your creativity. Like you need to find out. You may find out your teams. Like last time, my teams is what is the consequence if you no recycling, you not appreciate the nature. So from this aspect, we can dip into and then bring the student to do the project. So this is based on how
So every year is a different theme.
the teams you need to find yourself. It does not have a specific teams, but it is
Also,
always
it encourages you to do, like, you have the freedom of choice.
you have freedom of choice, but usually we best more on find the problem and then problem solving.
Alright, and that's important to keep us motivated throughout this whole thing. And speaking of keeping us motivated, let's keep watching our show to learn more about our program and about recycling as we come to a close to today's episode. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Make sure to sit back, relax, stay with me. I'll be right with you. Again, this is Green Talks. I'm JC. Alright, that is correct. Whether it is reducing plastic, saving energy, or supporting sustainable brands, every small action we take in our everyday lives adds up. So let's do our part and protect our planet because it belongs to all of us. If you have eco-friendly tips or any ideas, feel free to share them with us. Your suggestion might be featured in our very next episode. A huge thank you to Mr. Tiong, our guest, for sharing their wisdom with us today, and for all of you guys at home for tuning in. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to like, follow, and share the episode with your friends. See you next time, and again, my name's JC, and you've been listening to Green Talks.